Hey guys, welcome to the Cash Flow Talk Deal Makers. I am today honored to have a good friend of mine and an investor, rehabber, landlord here in South Florida, Jorge Fajardo from Keystone Property Investments. He's a very busy guy and I'm so grateful that he's gonna be able to spend a few minutes with us. Brother, thank you for being with me on today. How are you?
Thank you, Camilo. I appreciate you having me on. I know that we've been planning on this for a long time, so I'm glad we finally got it done.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So the goal of this thing is, it's called Deal Makers because I don't want to interview the gurus and the moguls of real estate. I want to interview people that actually make deals, make things happen, and move the economy. So I'm very excited that you're here. We share the same business. He's a wholesaler as well, rehabber, landlord. So anything we can learn from him. And the good thing about this is we're giving value to the audience, but also I am learning every single time that I talk to people like this. The more you network with people and that are doing things and that are making things happen, I believe that we all grow together, right?
Yeah, and it goes both ways because every time we have a conversation, I come out of it learning something new that I didn't know either.
Awesome.
So it's a beautiful muchal benefit there that we get out of the conversation we have.
Before I get started with the first question, if you can subscribe below, Cash Flow Talk, you can hear these Deal Makers episodes every Wednesday, and every Friday we're gonna be doing the Shit Happens episodes. We're gonna talk about shit that happened in business. Shit happened in business. Business is not easy, and we're gonna launch it, and it's gonna be every Friday, so don't miss it. Also in the same YouTube channel. Brother, in a minute, if you can tell me a little bit about you, who you are, what do you do, and how did you become the person that you are today, business-wise, obviously.
Yeah, so, well, I've been in real estate in a lot of different areas since 2002. I started as a mortgage broker back during the subprime era.
Okay.
When we were selling 6% interest rates, and that was prime rate. You know, a lot of 2-year fixed arms and just the subprime loans out there. Stated income, no asset loans. And then from there, once the economy crashed and the housing market crashed, we pivoted a little bit in about 2008, and I got more into loss mitigation. I was the director of loss mitigation for a big well-known law firm here in Miami. We did over 3,000 settlement negotiations, short sales, loan modifications, reduced payoffs, and various other types of settlements with the banks to help distressed homeowners who were in foreclosure basically avoid foreclosure, get out of foreclosure, or try to save their house, or at least help them sell their house and eliminate any outstanding debt they had. And all these properties are underwater back in between 2008 and 2015.
Awesome. And how did you become the investor, the flipper, the wholesaler, the landlord that you are today?
Sure. So we started the company Keystone Property Investments about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And that was right around the time that I was transitioning out of the law firm. And the reason I did that is, or one of the reasons is, with negotiating the short sales, for example, we kept seeing a lot of the same buyers coming back.
Okay.
And, you know, as the firm representing the sellers, part of my responsibility was to review the offers and look at the comps and try to help our client get the best deal possible. But even with all that, I could see these buyers getting amazing deals. So it kind of dawned on me eventually, hey, why don't I get on the other side and start buying some of these properties myself? And so from there, things evolved, and that's where Keystone came from.
Awesome, awesome. Let's talk to the entrepreneur, to the business owner, to the person who's hustling every single day. One of the reasons why I want to go back to the Shit Happens episodes. One of the things that I feel frustrated with social media now, because everybody now with a camera has a voice, and there's so many fakers out there showing the rented Lamborghinis and then selling, hey, if you want these results, you can just work part-time for 2 hours for less than a year and you're gonna be able to own something like this. And when you see the tag behind it, it's a rental car. I feel that there's so many fakers on the road, on the streets, and selling their programs, selling their courses. I believe that business is built with relationships, the hard way, building it with people, and there's a lot of struggles out there. Tell me what could have been probably one of your most hard situations in business, and what did you learn from it? How did you overcome that?
Well, before I answer that, to your point, especially when I was first getting into this business, A lot of times we'd see these gurus setting these programs or courses out there, how you can wholesale working 10 hours a week and make all this money. And, I'm like, wait, that sounds nice. Maybe I can do that, take some time off. And before I knew it, we were working 50, 60 hours a week. Yeah. And so, again, to answer your question, one of the big sayings I have, and this is, obviously I didn't make it up, this I read somewhere, but it's, you got to work on your business as much as you work in your business. Yeah. And so what that means is, you have to establish systems and protocols and build a team and train your team and be able to put the business in a position where you're able to scale. Because if you're stuck in the day-to-day activities of your business, it's a situation where you're so far in the weeds that you can't really see the big picture. So one of the big things that I tell people starting in this business or any business really is to be able to take a step back and really look at the big picture and figure out ways to systemize and implement different factors of your business or different areas of your business so that you can grow and have a duplicatable system that you can continue to scale and grow.
Awesome. Going back to that question, which I want to ask you, what has been probably your biggest obstacle in life or in business to be the person that you are today? Could you share something like that?
Obstacles are everywhere. You're encountering obstacles on a day-to-day basis. The main thing is just don't be your own obstacle. You have to have the right mindset. You have to have confidence in your ability, and don't try to do things alone. You can't let the ego dictate what decisions you make. Yeah. And I reached out to you. I do a lot of things in social media, and I saw Camilo doing a lot of things in social media. And for 2 months, it's like, oh, I'm going to reach out to him. I'm going to reach out to him in my mind. And finally, one day, I literally just didn't even think about it and just did it. When I saw a video, I just did it on the spot because I kept putting it off and I was too busy doing various things. And I just never got around to do it. And so finally I did it, and here we are.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, if you had to start over in your career, if you had to start from zero, you lose everything. You lose the wholesale deals you have, the rehab deals that you have, the rental properties that you have. Would you go back to real estate and you start over again in real estate, or would you do something else? And if you say yes, real estate, what would you do? How would you start?
Well, that's actually a really good question. And for me, it's not a hypothetical. I actually, that did happen to me. In 2007, I owned a very successful mortgage company that had been in business for about 6 or 7 years. Well, since 2002, when I was in the mortgage business. And when the market bottomed out, we literally were receiving faxes. This is back when we still use faxes.
Oh yeah, I
on a daily
those.
basis.
I remember those.
I was just telling the story the other night to someone. We had loans that were clear to closing that day, and I remember it's clear as day, like if it was yesterday. In July of 2007, I walk into the office and I'm having faxes coming in stating effective immediately, we're no longer funding loans. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with a closing at noon that day. That wasn't going to happen. I'm calling my rep, a $20,000 commission on the line. And, I'm thinking, wait, that doesn't apply to us, right? Because we have a clear to close. He's like, no, this is happening to everyone. Literally, I'm here at the office and half the people are packing their boxes and everyone's laid off. Wow. So, fast forward a few months later, we had to close the office. We could no longer operate. There was no blending happening anymore. I had some rental properties at the time. A lot of them basically went into foreclosure. And so I actually remember negotiating on behalf of myself one of the first short sales before people even knew what short sales were in January and February, that first part of the first quarter of 2008, before the crash had officially been declared. And that's how I pivoted into the legal side and went to work for the law firm. I marketed myself as being able to help them on the financial end, because that's what my background's in, to run a settlement department to help mitigate and settle the foreclosure cases, the legal actions on behalf of our clients, and it worked out very, very well. And so, to add to your question, as far as what will we do, I'm a firm believer in being able to adapt to the market and have the skill set to be able to adapt to the market. So in my particular case, I also went to law school during that time that I was working. So, and I'm in the process, I do have my law degree, I'm in the process of applying for the bar and becoming an attorney, so that I want to cover all the bases. And that's just me personally. Obviously not everybody out there has to go to law school or do but my point being that if there's a next crash, I'll be in a position to help distressed borrowers again, to defend any foreclosure actions or anything like that. I'm also in a position now to purchase the properties. We're launching a retail brokerage as well, plus a credit repair service, and eventually a lender. So we want to be a one-stop shop so that we can help one individual in every single aspect of their real estate needs. So to me, that's what adapting is, just being able to position yourself in any way that you can adjust to the market.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome, guys. I am a firm believer of the power of relationships. It's who you know, it's how you treat people, it's being nice to everybody. Being nice is the best tool to negotiate with anybody in any business that you're in. And that's one of the principles that I want to leave behind to my daughter. It's have great relationships with people. I say it all the time, we're not in the housing business, we're in the relationship business. What could be one of the, if you could only pick one set of principles that you would like to leave behind to your daughter and your son, what would it be?
No, that's definitely one of them. Obviously, and still hard work. But it's funny you mentioned in terms of being nice and just being professional, which especially in this market in South Florida, you don't get that a lot. And so one of the things that we train our people, I'm very open with our staff and the people that work for us. And one of the things we tell them is, listen, life is too short. If you're dealing with someone, on the other line, if they're a jerk, if they're unpleasant, if you're in one of those situations where you dread picking up the phone because this person's going to be rude to you, they're going to insult you, life's too short. There's too much business to go around. We don't want to deal with people like that. And to me, it's not so much about numbers and quotas and that kind of thing as it is about, just enjoy what you're doing as you're doing it. So if you don't want to deal with someone for a reason, then let's just move on and I'm okay with that.
Awesome.
So
awesome. Last couple questions. I am very involved in personal growth, in reading, in audiobooks, in learning from the people that have made it, and millionaires and authors and all these type of things. And I love reading. What could be one book, podcast, YouTube channel that you would say, hey, I recommend you guys reading this book, or this book changed my life, or something like that? What could be one?
Sure. So one book that I just read, just finished last week actually, is a Untethered Soul. And it's just the kind of book that basically just helps you get your mind right and helps you deal with the issues that come along, especially as an entrepreneur, and all the stress and pressures and how to just be able to take a step back from yourself and listen to your inner voice and not have that inner argument and struggle back and forth, and be able to control that in a way so you can make better decisions, especially when you're dealing with problems.
Awesome. All right, before I get started with the fun round, which is a couple questions that I want to ask him, like fun round, quick questions, quick answers. It'll be quick, I promise, less than 2 minutes. I want to ask you, man, can you tell the viewers, they heard it from me, but can you tell the viewers to subscribe to this YouTube channel, Cashflow Talk?
Absolutely, guys. Definitely. Go to his YouTube channel, Cashflow Talk. He has a lot of valuable information. I watch it. Again, that's how I reached out to him, through his videos and social media, and I highly recommend it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Let's get to the fun round. Quick questions, quick answers.
Okay.
One sentence right away. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
My 20-year-old self, man, it's a lot. Just work hard and believe in yourself.
Love it. What did you want to do when you were a little kid?
When I was a little kid, I thought I wanted to be a doctor.
All right, cool. I wanted to be a cop.
Until I passed out at the sight of blood, so that didn't work out.
Who was your idol when you were a kid?
Man, my mom.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Mine
Yeah,
was
my
my dad.
mother.
Awesome, awesome. Favorite class in school and the worst class in school?
Favorite class in school.
Let me guess, math.
You tell? Well, I'm a
Yeah.
finance guy.
Yeah,
Math. Worst class? I don't really. I don't know. I can't
Probably
really
science
think of
or
one.
history.
Nah, I was a pretty good student.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which led me to another question I have. I'm just gonna jump into it. Were you the class clown or the nerd?
Neither. I was right in the middle. I was
Okay.
right in the middle.
I was a little nerd.
I'm the kind of guy that sits in the back of the class and just kind of takes everything in and
Yeah,
observes.
I was more of the nerd, but I used to like sports. So, anyways, favorite all-time movie?
Pulp Fiction.
What is it?
Pulp Fiction.
Awesome. What do you always carry with you, but it's not your cell phone?
Well, this is a good one. I have a device that we plug in to see if all the outlets are grounded. When I go to
Nice.
see properties, that's one of the things that I take with me. For $5, you buy it at Home Depot, and it's a lifesaver. It'll save you a lot of money.
Yeah, I have a couple. I've lost a couple. What do you do to relax after a long day of work?
Workout.
Workout. Awesome. If you didn't do what you do today, what would you have loved to do?
Man. I don't know. I mean, I love to travel, so maybe something to do with traveling.
Oh, blogger? Don't tell me.
Something
that.
like that. That looks nice, but I'm sure it's not as it seems. But you know.
Yeah. What would you have loved to do but didn't have the talent for? Well, I guess travel, but
You know, I play professional football. I played high school football. I had an opportunity to go to Division II college. Decided to turn that down, and it's one of the regrets that I have.
Love it.
I could have played college football, and who knows where that would have taken me.
I would have loved to play any sports except football. It's just too hard for me. But I played baseball. I played soccer. Obviously recreational.
Yeah,
Volleyball.
yeah.
But I would have loved to be like a tennis player or something like that. Love it. If you could spend one day with anybody in the world, dead or alive, who would it be, and what would you ask him?
Man,
Or
with
her.
anybody in the world. Elon Musk is one of the people.
Okay.
And
I
would
finished.
say,
I just finished his book. Awesome
Okay,
book.
yeah.
His story about how he started PayPal, then Tesla, and SpaceX, and he sold their solar panel company.
yeah.
Great.
And
great
so
book.
that's my question is, how do you manage it all? Time management. What do what kind of advice can he give regarding that? And to be able to do so many things.
These guys, just something out of this interview. These guys that are like Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and I don't want to get political, but his success is outrageous. The Apple guy. What's Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs, yeah.
These guys have such a different mentality. Like there's no cant in their life. Like it's crazy. I mean, you have to read this book. It's called, I think it's Elon Musk. I think that's the name of the book.
Okay.
I did it on an audiobook while I was working out. Great, highly recommended. If you can change something in the world, this is the last question. If you could change something in the world, what would it be?
Just all the negativity that's out there right now, just in general. I mean, it just seems with the spread of social media, it's just much easier now to spread the bad with the good. And it seems like it's just, spreading very rapidly.
Man, I want to tell you this on camera. I've interviewed a few people, and so many people have the same answer when I ask the
Really?
same question. Jorge, George, thank you so much for your time. I told you guys it was going to be short and sweet. It was not as short, but it was very sweet, man. Thank you so much for your time. I hope we
Appreciate
can
it.
do a few deals together here in Florida. I presented him the opportunity about Detroit, investing up there. And thank you so much for your time, man. I'm going to see if he has a couple more minutes so we can do a quick Shit Happens episode right away.
All right, guys.
Have a good
See
one,
you
guys.
soon.
Take care.